feel it. So Pete had we all feel it after 23 days. Morning constant. Probably missed it today as well, but it's a good thing just to revitalise yourself and get some good sleep and get back fresh in the vehicle. But Scott is a great guy, and he's definitely every alternative morning swapping with us, and that's a really great thing leading up to Big Cat Week. Great fun guy to have around too. Watch out Ariel here, mate. Thank you. So we're leading up to Big Cat Week on the 29th. We'll be broadcasting live from exactly the same location we are now, Arathusa and Djuma. We're on Djuma right now, moving across to Arathusa Game Reserves. We'll be broadcasting live on National Geographic Channel, National Geographic Wild. We'll also be broadcasting on WildEarthTV and the National Geographic website. So there's lots of different ways that you can keep an eye on it, and really exciting stuff. Really exciting stuff. Treehouse Dam, then Twin Dams, then up the road. I might take a little detour and go inland a bit, because we can get up to Red Dam quite quickly now. I've found another little special way on Arathusa. Getting to know those roads is also making my confidence level build on that reserve. Knowing that I don't have to refer to the map as many times, I still have to look at it, but you get a little bit more of a confidence with the roads, and you can think about different ways to go and what would be where. Yeah, lovely morning with those elephant this morning, and thanks for all your tweets and all your messages about the time we spent, because it was quite special. The matriarch is a sort of a special thing. I don't know if anyone's ever worked with horses, or even a dog, for example, that might have a little bit of a problem with being social or something like that. That particular elephant did have that sort of a history, and we don't know what she's been through that makes her do that. It's very hard to follow an elephant's history to know that sort of thing unless you've been with them most of their life, and she just was so cool this morning. I really enjoyed it. And then the little teenager, and then the real little baby was only like a year old or something, was throwing his weight around as well and putting his ears out and showing his strength. Quite pronounced. We just sort of discussed how we know that, obviously, once you get to know tracks a little bit better, you can see that it's a hyena, not a cat. But there's a couple of different things that to tell you that it's exactly that, a hyena. But the point I'm getting to, I suppose, is that the cheetah is the only real cat that has a little protrusion of claws in its paw print, in its footprint. And that's what we talked about this morning. Just to recap, those semi-retractable claws that when they're catching prey, they can deploy very, very well, but when they retract them, they don't retract in all the way, and they, as I said this morning, like a footballer studs on his football boots when he's turning on a tackling, or when he's trying to mark a man and running along, and a few other areas too. It's a beautiful afternoon to be out. Pleasant temperature. Feels good.
Start and end your day on safari. Every day, twice a day through January 31st, join a real African safari live online.
Let's just go and have a look at that hyena den, guys. The old hyena den. Hyena tracks. Yeah, bit of hyena activity here last night. So I'm just driving up to this point that we used to come and stop and see hyena in this den. We're pretty sure they've moved on. There was just a bit of activity of hyena tracks along there this morning. I highly doubt it, but it's always worth just having a little bit of a look-see. You never know. Sometimes when the parasitic infestations get a little bit high in the den, they'll move on. And it's normally an old, it's just here in this termite mound, it's normally an old aardvark or warthog hole that they renovate to fill their needs. But no, there's not much activity around here at all. That's it just over there. It's quite a picturesque little home, I would have to say, if I was a hyena. Not bad at all. But no activity here. It's always worth just checking in and seeing. But there's a lot of hyena activity around at the moment. I've been seeing them more and more, and that's got a lot to do with all these prey species dropping, all the impalas and wildebeest. Not every little baby survives. It might just have it might not survive birth. It might there might be loads of different contributing factors, but the hyenas will definitely keep that or facilitate their needs there when it comes to cleaning up. Not their needs, but yeah, you know what I mean. The hyena do a fantastic job of, but also, as I always say, don't forget they're a fantastic hunter as well. Still a few ewes in this that are. Have a look at these two boys here. These two young male impalas. They're not very old. Just having a little bit of a sparring session here. Just practicing, nothing in it. You can see the other male walking up to, just coming into screen now, how different their size in horns are. He's a bit more of a serious male, and he's definitely more of one to watch. Lovely little herd of impala in nice light. Yeah, so this is the road we came up this morning. There's a load of hyena prints coming down here, footprints. This female here, this mare, quite heavy in foal.
Start and end your day on safari.
A bit cooler anyway. So 27 degrees, 80, is that 84 I think? 84, yeah. Nice. There's a couple of nice antelope up this way and zebra. She's just hiding behind this piece of vegetation. Beautiful. Look at that gorgeous thing. How nice is she? She's a kudu, K-U-D-U, kudu cow. We see them a lot, but they're always always nice to just stop and have a little look at those antelope, because they are quite incredible. The more you watch them, the more beauty you see in them. They're very special. I do love kudu. Really nice. I love them. It's the size of this, and an elephant had pulled off half of the whole tree, broken it off, split it right down the one side, halved the trees. Weight in timber. It was on the ground in the middle of the road. I tried to pull it out with the Land Rover. Too much timber, just too heavy. And I didn't really want to put any pressure on this vehicle, because this vehicle, I mean, we gave it a good go, but we'll have to get a chainsaw, and chop that up, and then make it into smaller pieces before we. Quite a beautiful scene there, isn't it? That water and that sky. Okay, we'll move on.
Check the weavers.
Right. Oh yeah. We'll definitely come back and have a look at those, mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just want to get down to. I'm going to come back and check out those weaver nests later on. We'll have a talk about them. I just want to get to. I'm just watching the weather, and we've seen that half-trunk elephant down by the Viatella waterhole about a half an hour ago. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. That's what I love about this. That's what I love about this. You guys help so much to what we do. It's like you're another guy for me. It's so nice to hear. here, guys. Thank you. Okay, so we've got some impala down here. There's a couple of warthog. It's funny with warthog, you get some warthog that are really comfortable with our vehicle, and you get other warthog that just shoot. As soon as they see a vehicle, you get ones that are probably a little bit older and more confident. There's our one-horned impala we see quite often. This guy, he's broken that off in a fight. Everything's fine this side, control. Got some beautiful, beautiful kudu bulls here. Have a look at this guy. Oh wow, that is a special animal. Look at that. Look at the beautiful horns on that guy. I'll just roll down here a little bit. Oh, hang on, I might stay there. He seems to be browsing. Another one just down here ahead that might be a little bit easier to see. They all have a very different, like their spirals are the same sort of shape, but they'll have a different splay on them. Some are quite tight, some are quite wide. Just roll down here for you, VM, and see if you can get... Actually, I might just... Actually, I'll go back, mate. Have a look at him. He is a spectacular animal. Might get you a nice shot through there, mate. What's that look like? Is that better? Isn't that magical? That is a fantastic creature. That's a kudu bull. So we just saw the kudu cows around the other side, and I know many people have seen these before, but just beautiful. And that's the thing, you can just come around the corner and come across something as beautiful as this. The kudu bull, browsing, completely relaxed with us, with an extraordinary set of horns on his head. And a very, very fine specimen indeed. And you can see through that, can you see through that spiral there? I had a mate of mine once show me, a really fantastic mate of mine, Marius Swart, a super guide in South Africa. He showed me, if you look down from the top, we nearly saw it there, you look down from the top of the point, that spiral actually lines up with their eye socket, you know. They can see through that spiral. There's a few theories that this is a really nice time to see this. It doesn't happen very often you get this. Just trying to roll down a little bit further for you. Some theories are that they can see right through that, that spiral, and there's no blockage of their field of vision. And Murray showed me that one day on a skull that we found in the bush. It was quite incredible to see. So you know what I'm talking about, from the horn tip down inside that spiral. If you looked at that really closely. Okay. Too impressive boys. Those are amazing horns. Another nice one here. We'll get a nice open shot. You can see his horns are much tighter. The splay on them are nowhere near as... Get a nice shot of him now in open country. Look at that. That's a beautiful animal too. Big. Really big. Let's just move down a little bit. Oh, it's a bit tight to get in there. beautiful creature. Really on the lookout for leopard today, folks. I'm suffering from I've got withdrawal symptoms from leopard withdrawal symptoms. We have to put out all the energy to the leopards and try and find these guys today. Find someone. Ones where they use, and there's another one here. Look at the mud on this one, this tree here. This and stands up next to it and rubs himself up and down, scratches himself from side to side, and removes those parasites, and just gets some relief, I suppose. They do like a good scratch rub. We got a question earlier as well about oxpeckers and why we don't. I mean, I don't. How many?
Alright, well guys, welcome this side. Sure you've had a nice drive with Hayden, some kudu, and hope you asked me a few difficult questions or funny ones. We just up here on a road called Drakensberg Drive, and I can actually show you why. Since it's a bit overcast, but if you look, there's just a little gap in the clouds right to the western horizon, just in that area. There you can actually see the Blood River Canyon area up towards the what we always call the escarpment, which is the Drakensberg Mountains. And this road we're traveling is called Drakensberg Drive because for many parts of it you can see the mountains from here. So a beautiful view in the distance. You can see some heavy cloud cover still, but I don't think rain for now, maybe tonight. Beautiful window actually with a big marula tree in the front. It's got a nice R in it. In Afrikaans we roll the R's. Around the world. Yours had an amazing experience, and he's a pretty cool guy. There's a lot of interesting things in his life, and his eyes were open to the leopard population of this area by Claire, and later on obviously he's working with a lot of people now on IDs and things, but I just wanted to share that story. I thought it was a really beautiful story, and the way he told it was that, you know, you always enjoy the leopard, he loves seeing them, but then once this was sort of shown to him the family break. Let's say Mvula and is busy scent marking, you can smell the scent marking, but there's a few animals that have a particular smell to them. Wild dogs are one of those, and waterbuck are one of those. You can smell waterbuck if the breeze is consistent and conditions are right. You can smell waterbuck hundreds of meters away. That's heavily pregnant. And your larger antelope, waterbuck, kudu, zebra, not antelope, but also larger animals, they tend to have the young a little bit later in summer. Zebra is maybe not the perfect example for part of that list. Zebras have got a gestation period of 1 year, so theirs can vary a little bit. You do get young zebra throughout the year, but they have a peak in summer. But your antelope, kudu, waterbuck, if we don't really get them around here, but sable, roan, your larger antelope species, they tend to have the young slightly later into summer, as opposed to the impalas. Into an area that traditionally is one of that she will either have her cubs in or has them in the other one of the two areas. She moves them there as the second alternative. Voitella large area is the other area. She's had her cubs in and around there, or as I said, otherwise moves them there when she moves them around. So it's a very difficult area, almost impenetrable from a vehicle point of view. There's all these little dongos and ditches and drainage lines. We had a few places now, we just poked in those in Brian and myself just to have a look at it. And I'll be chatting a little bit with Ephraim over the next few days. Very feeling, if you want, but this is now also chatting with the guys that know this area, that know this lake, but also from you guys, from Colleen and Karen and those of you that follow the leopards closely. So we will be checking around and who knows? Maybe for big cat week we've got 2 small cats. Let's try and see this bird. Ron, I'm going to try and get you a little window through the leaves there, just on that termite mound. Unless it's going to run away. No, don't worry, it's going to run away. She's quite a large bird, looks like a bit like a roadrunner for those. Very I know Brian likes this a lot as well. I'm sure many of you do. Just some beautiful light. Just look at that sky. That's stunning. A couple of big beams of sunlight just breaking through the clouds. It's a summer's afternoon in the Lowveld. We're just looking at that female waterbuck. Here's a big male, in fact quite an impressively big male. He's having a little ruminating session. You see, it looks like he's, well, it doesn't look like he is chewing. I was going to say it looks like he's chewing gum, but he's chewing the grass. They are grazers, waterbuck, and he would have been having a good graze during the course of the day, maybe even during midday because it was a bit overcast, it wasn't as hot. And now he's just taking it easy, regurgitating that grass and chewing it again, grinding it down to almost a paste, really finely ground down, and then yeah, adjusting it very efficiently per volume if you want. Try and avoid serious by because it might get me injured. Right, we are heading west towards Arathusa, which is the western area where we can look around and traverse. We might have a little bit of signal breakup just up ahead when we go through the dip, but it shouldn't last long.
Folks, I just want to show you this. Just bear with me for a second. Starting on that side of the road or the other, and we'll film it going across the road. That's the way it is. But the smaller, impala and things like that will just drink from these small pools. Interesting bird. I just heard the alarm call of one, but it wasn't. It didn't continue. Always like looking really detailed, have a great detailed look through this area, because got some lovely little thickets in here, lots of places for animals just to rest in the heat of the day, and you just never know. But I am in dire need of a leopard sighting because I haven't had one for a couple of days, and I've got the withdrawals, and VM's told me he's got withdrawals for lions as well. So we're definitely going to be looking at those today. We've got an hour and 3/4 left, which is brilliant. That's lovely. Mother and calf. Now they may be just stragglers at the edge of that herd. I'll try and remember those. She's beautiful. Hey, little guy. So we might pick them up. So they might be just the tail end of the herd that we were talking about earlier. And we might pick those other animals up around the other side there. and every day they get stronger and stronger. And then if you just pan to the right, VM, I have a feeling that there's a load of elephant in there. It's just an intuition. I don't know. There's something telling me that there's a herd of elephant in there. Hello, my friend. He's a lovely creature as well. We'll just let him get to know us a little bit before we move any closer. Well, that was a really nice choice we made, folks, to come this way, because we've seen elephant, that little crested impala, and now giraffe. And this bull here is potentially on his lonesome. I can't see any other animals around. He's looking across there. He may be looking across at others. With giraffe, you've just got to approach them slowly, let them get used to you, and if you drive up too quickly and overstep that invisible zone for them, they just have a tendency to walk off, and that's not what we want, and we don't want to scare them either. He's got a bit of a wonky horn. His horns aren't quite equal, and that can happen from time to time when they're growing up, because those horns, when they're born, aren't fused to their skull or connected to their skull, and they don't actually fuse till they're between about 4 and 7 years of age. So if they get a knock on that head, they can sort of, I can hear an elephant roaring somewhere. Drive past, it's our direction. I can hear a lot of elephant activity, a lot of vocalizations. Thanks, my friend. It's the direction we're going in anyway. It was a fair way off in the distance, but I'll tell you what, you can hear elephant. Jane from Colorado just asked the question. Hi Jane, welcome to you, and I hope you're enjoying yourself with us today. It's pretty relaxed today, but we might have a bit more there are animals that do still have massive tusks. Pete saw one recently, and I think I saw one earlier, a couple of weeks ago. They do exist still, but not in their form that they used to exist. Now, I've seen in different parts of Africa completely tuskless elephants. You can use them as a tool to get bark out or scrape a particular clay soil down if they want to eat some particular mineral, break up different things, dig things over. They use their tusks for loads of different things. So if they don't have them, it probably is a little bit of a they're on the back foot a bit, but they still survive. I've seen many an elephant without, and I haven't seen massive differences in their behaviour. Fellas, you okay? Good. Okay, there's something going on up here, and this is the incredible vocalizations that we've heard. I don't know what the guides are pointing on up here. I'm approaching another vehicle, and maybe it's a skirmish between a couple of males, I don't know. He's vocalizing, yeah? I wonder what's going on. You can hear that, folks. There's some big elephant vocalizations there. And I can just see them through the trees. We're going in that direction. We're just going to sit back and see what the story is. Just going to check What's the best way to go in? Okay folks, we're just going to go in. Cheers guys, bye man. A little bit hard. Let me just see if I can get a better shot for you, Vio. Tricky. Very tricky. What we might do is just head around the other side. And see where the rest of the herd is. We're on our way to the dam. Herd. We'll just get up here and have a little look at this. But sometimes when you just drive up to the herd, you really do have to take a good look around, because if this is the same herd, it potentially is that we were with this morning. They scatter themselves through the bush over a very, very big area, and you cannot see. There might be a mother just here and a calf over there, and if the calf feels like it's you've come in between her and him and its mum, or her and its mum, okay, we're going to head down, coming here, but they seem to have stopped. Important thing, but it's got nothing to do really with our particular transmission. Arathusa and Djuma, but good observation. Wouldn't wish for a better vehicle, and Pete told me that when we first started. He said you're going to have so much fun in these vehicles. This particular size wheelbase and the engine. Elaine, have I ever seen a pangolin? Well, I have seen a pangolin, Elaine. I've never seen a pangolin in the wild that hasn't been rescued. Excuse me, I just swallowed a fly. That hasn't been rescued. Now, pangolin, Elaine, I'm just looking down at my phone because I have to show you something. This is pretty cool. This is something that I think you'll really like. Like dinosaurs. And he comes a little bit closer in a second, but he's foraging around there. He'll come a bit closer in a minute, or I'll go a bit closer to him. Walking on their back legs and those little front feet off the ground. Quite an incredible thing to see. And he's just foraging through there. But this animal was confiscated from the authorities, by the authorities, and given to a friend of mine, a lovely woman in Namibia, and Maria. Have a look. It's up. It's up a little bit closer here. Control, can you please repeat? Breaking up there. Copy. Okay, guys, what we're going to do is
We're up here on Impala Plains, and just coming out of the western area, and we're actually going to head up this way. I just wanted to quickly come up here and just show you a little bit of the view, because it's one of those afternoons where the whole afternoon just sort of keeps developing in terms of the wider view, if you want, or the spectacle of the skies. We've got beautiful clouds. I think we could have an interesting sunset. Sometimes with a heavy cloud like this, it can block the sunset, but at other times, if there's gaps in it like this afternoon, you can see the different parts where the sun is breaking through. You can have spectacular sunsets with different layers of color, from almost black to dark blue to pink and red later on. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on it. And this area known as Impala Plains is one of the great spots for a sunset. So not quite sunset yet, but we thought we should stop and have a look here. Just enjoy the view. Look at that. This is also for those of you that have been on lots of drives with us. That tree on the left hand side there is where Tingana, that big male leopard, had the zebra kill in. Spectacular few days that we shared there with him. Haven't seen him since. This is sort of the very edge of his territory, so hopefully somewhere in the next week or so he could be coming through here again. These big male or dominant male leopards need to patrol their areas, and both Tingana and Mvula have got large territories that they need to patrol and scent mark and check. So you sort of get this bit of a rhythm almost eventually, where they come through the area every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the male and depending on the area, and a few other factors obviously. That sun just beaming through a hole in the sky there at the moment. Just look at that. Beautiful. Okay, let's go on. We're going to head north a little bit towards Sandy Patch. See what we can find. Oh, a tiny little lamb there. Oh, Mum's going to walk away. Some youngsters from last year, still quite a few females that are heavily pregnant. And then, of course, many of them that have had the young. That female there, you see the one is trying to suckle from her. That specific lamb following with her would be 24, 48 hours old. I'm just looking at the size. After about 3, 4 days, 5 days old, it becomes a little bit more difficult to really gauge the age. More often, more regularly, more thoroughly now than they certainly would have to do in winter time. little bit. That's the part of the drive we're going into now. That sort of magic hour building up to and around sunset. Tortoise tracks there. It's funny little, looks like black marks almost. We just taking a slow drive this time, so we will be spending a lot of time around there. But as always, it's great just to check this surrounding areas as well. This is a road called Aubrey's Road. We've spoken to Aubrey, you've heard the name. He's one of the guides currently still at Boyatella. He's been there for years. And great guide, great tracker. I used to work with him years ago when I was guiding him. And he made this track one day, he just liked it.
A couple of tracks across there, but they're very, very difficult to see. And over the other side, around the muddy area, up there's a couple the tracks as well. Right on the other side now. We just don't know where he's gone. There's another dam way away on another reserve. I don't know why he would go during the day, unless he was harassed by something, either elephant or maybe lion, I don't know, but I don't think he would. He would have stayed in that pool. He wouldn't have exposed himself to that, or made himself that vulnerable. So I'm at a complete loss again. We've had him for a couple of days, keeping an eye out and see how he's going. And then in broad daylight, which is not really a time for a hippo to come out of the water, due to the heat and so on. Found. So we're going to move on and carry on down into the reserve a little bit further.
Start and end your day on safari.
Which way shall we go is the question on everyone's lips. So I think we should go to the right. To the right. We're going to go along this drainage line. Welcome aboard. I'm just concentrating on the sand a little bit here, but they do have an incredible healing ability. I've seen in captivity, particularly because I've worked with hippopotamus quite closely. So I think so. We never know. We never know, Chris. It's I think we're all sort of sitting back and watching what happens with this hippo, and we'll just have to carry on and see what happens, because I thought he was a couple of kudu running through here in front of us. Let's see, I haven't been up that road before. Let me just see where that takes me. Okay. We'll carry along to the end of this. And then we're going to go left off this. It's okay, my girl, just take it easy. Take it easy. It's all good. Kudu there, they're panicking that she'd been split up. Fantastic habitat through, really thick. Great cover for leopard. Lots of predators active, but this is leopard country. Just having a look at a bird, folks. I thought it was. Way up there is a vulture, a white-backed vulture, sitting in the tree. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, just spotted him, and I don't know what he's doing up there, but let's look around and see if there's any more. Interesting. That sort of, I mean, he could be just roosting there as well, but normally you see a vulture like that, you'll see a few more on other trees somewhere, and it normally means one thing, that they've spotted a kill. Sorry about the bumps, folks. And yeah.
But it's always better to check and see that it's nothing and not to check and miss something. Nope. Bug. I was thinking actually this morning at one stage while driving, those hyena that have disappeared, the ones with that were at the den, have obviously moved den. I've checked 3 of the dens that they typically use, but there's an old den that I remember from years ago that's not too far from here, and I was wondering if they've maybe moved back there. So I want to go check that out, see if there's any activity see if I can still find it. It was quite a tricky place, but I think I should be able to find what was the old track, well, probably 6 years ago. You can normally still pick it up a little bit, the trail from it. So, quick have a look that way, and then see what happens next. That's the great thing about being on a live safari is you can make a few plans, have a few ideas, but ultimately the wildlife finds you. That's the great surprise of it. I think that's why I've never tired of doing it for many, many years, is there's always the surprise element at any second, any second. Right now while I'm talking, we can come around the corner and there could be something waiting there for us. So let's see what happens. No, let's not see, let's experience what happens. Quite a while. Happy. Josh, sorry to interrupt your question there. We'll talk more about leopard tracks later. But the main thing with leopard really are tracks or drag marks if they have a carcass. But for now, let's enjoy these hyenas. We have the hyena den. Hey, little dude. On his, in boating terms, on his starboard side, his right flank. I remember he had quite a few spots that almost made like a line. Oh, and he looks a bit not lonely, but waiting at home. I know I often talk about this, but unfortunately, so many people have got a negative perception of hyenas, especially of spotted hyenas. Get a few different species, but by far the most known are the spotted hyenas, and it's a long history of storytelling around hyenas and perceptions created by documentaries and animations even. Hyenas really are fantastic animals. And I think sitting here looking at this little guy in the mood he's in, and as beautiful as he is, see what happens over the next with the pack, but not often, or with the clan. In that same train of thought, I was thinking of a little name, because to keep referring to him or her, not knowing, and I say it's a her because the confidence that I've seen that time when she was chasing off one of the adult males that were coming around the previous den. In fact, I'm convinced it must be a her, just from the behavior. With hyenas, your females are dominant over males. And I was thinking, with just finding them, I'm so happy that we found this den. This is a great place for us to visit. We waiting for her. These dens, and we're going to have a little look around just now once she's relaxed with us. These dens normally have two entrances. And this is, again, from what I remember from the past, this is one of the used entrances. But right wondering, I don't know the hyena packs in this area that well, but when we had the Nkuhuma Lion Pride about, what is it, about a week ago, 10 days ago, on that buffalo kill, that we saw for a little bit feeding around the carcass. And she was heavily pregnant. I remember that very clearly now. Quite an interesting build as well. If you look at the design of this animal, or this little spotted hyena. Got quite long front legs or short back legs, depending on how you look at it. So that sloping back is very characteristic. Strong shoulders, strong neck, even at this young age. Oh, this certainly is an old den site that's only recently been reused. This is all grown up. This used to be the main entrance of the den. It looks like some of it's caved in, grass has grown over it. Not impossible that they might open this up again. Oh, look at this. It's on the left here. He's curious. As we came around, I little sticks and hang on the leg there. Oh, it's mud. Look at the front. Basically the wrist if you want. So if you look very carefully, just that area of the feet. As she crawled into the burrow, or into the hole, obviously from the rain now, it'll be a bit wet inside. And that's the mud. For a minute I thought it was an injury, but I didn't see it when we pulled up at first. So it's a bit of sticky mud sticking to the fur. Beautiful coat. You can see that's the right hand flank or the starboard side now. There's almost two lines created by the spots. Oh, this is brilliant. She's come back out. For those of you that might have just joined us again, we had a look on the other side in this burrow, and we'll get to know this burrow well. If they're going to stick around here, or this den if you want is maybe the better name. If they're going to stick around here for the next few weeks, we'll be spending lots of time with them, especially with this little girl, and Dapandula is a young one. Won't be going out of the group too much, maybe for short adventures, but certainly not for hunts and for long patrols. So we'll get to know this place well. But what we did see on the other side, the other entrance I talked about earlier, it's caved in a little bit and grasses have grown there. So it's not impossible that the adults might open that up again. But for now, it's only got this one entrance. Look at those ears, listening all the time, just checking. The nose up, sniffing as well. Hyenas have got very good eyesight, but their listening and their smell very, very key in their sort of awareness of their surroundings. You can see that big blotch of mud on the, effectively the wrist. So if you go from the toes up to, you can see those two dark spots on the legs, sort of where the head is resting now. That would be the wrist, and this little hyena, when she was walking or crawling into the den just now, got a bit of mud from the last bit of rain. Diane's just asking, hello Diane. No, it's not strange that it's just one. Diane was just asking if it's strange that there would be only one. No, maybe you guys can all help me out here. And I've guided now for a very long time, since long before I even had grey hair. And I can never remember if someone wants to give me check it up a little bit pup or cub for hyenas. But this little cub, it's not unusual to be alone. It's something that happens fairly often. And to be left alone at the den site again, Diane, that's not uncommon. I mean, when they're really small, but I think we're going to be talking about and learning about and discussing a lot about hyenas over the next week or two. I really hope these guys stick around, and I think they will. I've got a good feeling that this will give us time to get to know certainly hyenas, and maybe as much, if not more fun, get to know this little individual. I like her a lot. She's beautiful, really spectacular, beautiful markings. I love the coat. She's really healthy. Chamber at the bottom. It's like a little network of spaces down there. Can help with that, but this one I would estimate. I'll check with Texan and them, Texan and Aubrey, that have obviously seen these guys when they were younger, but probably about 5-6 months old now. I don't think older than that, and definitely not younger than 4 months. So let's say about 5 months, 6 months at the most. And I would say around 8 to 10 months, they'll start going out on little adventures, if you want. Not necessarily big, going out and hunting. People always think that hyenas just scavenge. Again, these are perceptions created over time about them. In certain parts of Africa, hyenas are very successful hunters, and they hunt more than they would scavenge. In fact, I remember years ago I read some articles on a pack in the Delta area subway that actually, relative to the lions more often stole food from those hyenas than the hyenas did from the lions. So these adventures is not necessarily only to go scavenging, it can also be to go hunting. Although in the Sabi Sands area, with a large predator population, lions and leopard, the hyenas do very well from the scavenging aspect of their sort of survival options or food finding options. patiently waiting. And in a safe place. So life is good for this little girl. While we're talking about it, this is very exciting news also for the game drives. I just want to let Texan and them know, and maybe he can tell me if he knows exactly the age of this one. Texan again. Ah, sorry guys, wrong channel. I was in the Western channel. Yeah, now I'm trying channel 2. How are you? Mina Kasli for. We've got them PC Kaya again. It's moved to that one, you know, from Zoe's Road. You got down towards the Skovanin. Yeah, if I'm actually sorry, you're right. It's just at Rebecca's Road junction. So when you're coming from the Greenthorn down towards Rebecca's Road, and then Lela's going down into the Skovanin, and there's that Chudulu with some guari bush and stuff on it. Yeah, it looks like they just recently came in. Texan, this young one, the Mampimpan, do you know how old is she? Yeah, no, plus minus? No, it's the Mampimpan that we saw at the other den as well. So it's the one that's it's got the nice dark spots already. It's the one that's been here for a while. So again, 4 or 5 months. And almost in any madod. Spend a little bit more time here before starting heading back. Who knows, maybe there's an adult somewhere in the area heading this way. And I just want to recap the radio conversation I just had with Texan there, because that you guys could hear what I was saying, but you couldn't hear what Texan was saying. Firstly, you could hear in his voice. Texan's a great guy. I wish we could have him on drive sometime. He's just got such a great presence about him. But he had a little laugh in his voice. Happy to know that this den is active and that we can hopefully see these guys more often. This is a great thing for people visiting this area as well, as you all know. But keep in mind that the one fantastic thing about Safari Live experience is that you can do this often. You can do this as often as you have time, as often as you feel like it. And Franklin making some noise. But a lot of people, when they fly into this area to come and visit for a safari, they might only have 2 days or 3 days. And in that time, you can usually find the big animals. You can find leopard and lion and buffalo and elephant and all the general game, zebra and giraffe. Also, the lodges have got quite a large area that they can find animals in. But you have something like this where you can... Beautiful bird calls there. That you have almost a certain, beautiful experience. Having a young hyena like this at a den is a great thing for the guides to know that they can take their guests to. So when I was chatting with him, I asked him if he knows the age of this one. At first he thought there might be new ones here, and this is still a possibility. Not definite, but there is a chance that there might be new young ones, or relatively newborn ones here. But he also said about 4 or 5 months old, this one. So definitely less than 6 months old. He couldn't remember exactly when they started seeing though. Yes, that's a very good idea, Brian. It is nice to have light. How's that? Oh, let me try this one. Which one do you prefer?
Both of them actually.
Both. Yes. If not, why not? I was just thinking about it this morning, and thank you, copy that. Well, that's great news from HT there. He's in the quarantine area, and he had 2 adults there on that open area that he saw, heading in a southwesterly direction, which is almost straight line in this direction. It's about, as you heard me on the radio there, about half a kilometer. So again, you could say roughly half a mile, a little bit less than half a mile cross country from here. There's about 2 drainage lines to cross. Yeah, maybe a bit further than, maybe more, half a mile than half a kilometer. So let's say 700-800 meters in a straight line. So the adults are probably heading this way. I could also still be foraging out for something to eat. Let's just let Ephraim know as well. That's one of the other guys who's asking for an update. Ephraim, just Kathleen use him for that Mpisikaya from where Zoe's road joins Rebecca's road, and you farmer down to this Kovanin that's active again. Anything from, well, from 1 person up to about 10 people on them. So it's a much longer vehicle than what we're driving. And that's one of the reasons I love this. You know, we've got, I say this often, but we have the best vehicles in the world for doing what we're doing at the moment. The 2 vehicles at Wild. Now she's disappearing behind the front of the vehicle. She's about 5 of the vehicle at the moment. But this is just the old dry bone. It's something to play with. Not something to get nutrition from. In front of us. So just to come back what I was starting to talk about, the two adults that Hayden saw earlier on quarantine, if they were heading straight here, no distractions on the way, no stops, then we should be able to see them before the end of drive. Possibly. They could arrive anytime from now on. But of course there's also many things that could have happened en route. They could have been distracted. They could have been... I'm so happy. This was a good estimate. And there they are. The two adults have arrived. Very specific greeting ceremonies, smelling each other's sort of bits and pieces. Bit of a sound there, like a low moan almost. This is the alpha female having a look at us here. Oh guys, I'm just so happy we found this. This has been awesome. It's going to be awesome. Sorry, Brian, I'm beautiful view there towards the last of the sunset color as well. Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. This is such a dominant little girl. She will definitely be alpha female down the line. Just the way she was moving there. I mean, she's still a youngster, but marking. Brushing across some of the sticks in the area. This is a new den site for them, so they'll be doing a lot of scent marking around here, just sort of asserting themselves. You can actually see down towards the back legs. Can you guys hear me all right, Will? Nothing's changed that we know of, just want to make sure. Yeah, no, we had a bit of, probably just that. We had a bit of wind pick up suddenly. Hey, here's the youngster again, coming right back. In fact, I know. Having a look at the setting again, and we've got a little bit of time, almost 2 minutes left with these youngsters, or these hyenas and the youngster. But just again, what a spectacular place to be. Just look at this. We're sitting here in the early evening. It is nighttime around us, but the sky is still got that last glow of sort of post-sunset. I think we're going to see a few good sunsets from here. I'm sure Brian is also looking at it. We've got 1 or 2 nice trees that skyline themselves there, so we will be seeing a few sunsets from this area. I hope. Don't want to preempt too much, but this certainly has the feel of the next den site, not only for this youngster to grow up in, but also for this female that we're looking at, busy grooming herself. I think this is her new den site of choice. This is where the next youngster is going to be born. So let's have a last look at the little youngster being played there, or playing with the other, probably female, just looking at the behavior. It's very difficult with hyena, male and female, you can't really tell the difference that easily, but great interaction here right next to us. You can hear their feet on the sand. There you can see the edge of the vehicle right next to us. Hey guys, and I'm going to have to thank the hyenas for giving us a great show here. I want to thank all of you for joining us for a fantastic safari. I'm very happy that we found these hyenas and look forward to spending time with them. From myself, Peter, and from Brian on the vehicle, Will and HT and everyone else that side, have a fantastic time, and we see you for the sunrise drive tomorrow or sunset drive tomorrow evening. Bye-bye.